Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, where it is time for the second match preview of the season as Chelsea take on Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. And I know that everyone is pretty happy in the Liverpool camp right now. I wonder why. A certain midfielder is coming. But I've been delighted to be joined by Josh, who is a big Chelsea fan. I met him on the Fandango YouTube channel last week. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm not doing too bad. Excited for Sunday. It's gonna be an exciting game, hopefully. Anyway,
it should be because obviously last season, obviously Liverpool and Chelsea played 4 times last season. One in the European Super Cup, twice in the Premier League, and one in the FA Cup. Now, basically, Liverpool won 3 of those, and Chelsea won in the FA Cup. So something will be very, very interesting to see what will happen. But let's obviously talk about Chelsea. Obviously, big spenders this summer. How are you feeling about your transfer activity?
I think the transfer window has been. I don't think you could ask for anything more. I think you getting Timo Werner 50 million is an absolute steal. Getting Ziyech, we're finally, after years of Willian and Pedro, the pensioners, the people who couldn't cross the ball to save their lives. Player, he's modern, he's got pace, he's got technical ability, he's got everything you need in that. Kai Havertz, I think he's one special talent. At his age, what he's done, the levels he's up to, again, it's just incredible. Thiago Silva, even though longer, he is far what we need, not what we want, but he's a leader, he's a voice, he's experienced. He could bring that a very, very facile backline into at least some type of solidity, some type of collectiveness. And then Chilwell, and Chilwell, I think left back for me was one of the priorities. Having Marcus Alonso at left back, makes you want to tear and watch him run up and down that whole pitch, trying to defend, trying to stop crosses, trying to cross the ball, trying to do everything in general as a left back. He's atrocious at doing so. I think the window is just as good as you want for Chelsea. Obviously, we might have a keeper coming in Mendy, who I think we desperately need.
Oh, I wonder why.
And then Declan Rice. And then with 17 days of winter left, right is a 50-50, even though it's probably very unlikely. So I don't think you can complain at this window. I think the amount of signings we've made, the amount of money we've spent, and the areas we've spent, I think Chelsea have had pretty much near a perfect window. Once the keeper is signed, I think it's a perfect window.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Kepa is a big discussion point amongst everybody, really. But yeah, I think if you do get Mendy in, I think you will have obviously solved your goalkeeper issues. But to be honest with you, I've never heard of Edouard Mendy. I know he plays for Rennes and all that, but it's another unknown quantity. But if he is going to be your goalkeeper, then obviously Chelsea fans can breathe a huge sigh of relief that you're not having to rely on a 40-year-old Willy Caballero or a 22-year-old who literally, let's be honest, is probably the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League for saves percentage.
Yeah. Atletico Bilbao robbed us of 70 million. We got robbed of 70 million. Like, that club, just milk that money out of us. And this was obviously because Thibaut Courtois forced to move to Real Madrid towards the end of the season, and Maurizio Sarri was a fan of Kepa Arrizabalaga, and it was a panic buy. It was nothing more and nothing less than a pure and utter panic buy. And boy, has it came back to haunt us, because we're not going to be able to sell him. The only way he's leaving this club over the next 2 years is by a loan. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
Chelsea have lost money out on him.
Let's say hello to a few people, because obviously I've seen a few people in here. Hello to the Football Hub. Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well. Hello to the Ballum guy.
Hello.
Hello to Chris Welsh. Hi lads. Hope you're both well. Happy Thiago Thursday. Absolutely. Leighton Molyneux is saying happy Thiago Thursday. Absolutely. Cop Council's in. Go and subscribe to Connor at the Cop Council. Hope you are doing well. You are never getting rice, says Leighton Molyneux. Well, let's be honest. There is a certain friend of ours, Dan, who's a big West Ham fan. If Rice goes to Chelsea, you can expect big rants from him for sure. Liz Golden, hiya, is our Thiago better than Chelsea? Both in different positions, but I have to say Thiago Silva is one of the best, centre backs we've seen, play in world football for sure. Cop Council's biggest fans in Thiago. Here's a question for you: who should be Thiago Silva's centre back partner? You got loads of options: Rudiger, Zuma, Tomori, or Azpilicueta. Christensen not good enough for me. What do you think of that?
I think without a shadow of a doubt it has to be Kurt Zuma. Antonio Rudiger is a very careless centre back. He is very rough. He just kind of slides in. He doesn't have that precision and that timing of a tackle. He just kind of puts his foot out and whatever happens. And I've seen so many times when we're trying to play it from the back, if he's just trying to pass to Jorginho, who's just right in front of him, it's like a bullet pass. It's like about 100 miles per hour, just going straight past him. And then sometimes he kicks the ball. He's just careless. He's a careless centre back. Tomori is likely going to go out on loan. I don't think we'll see much of him at all this year. Azpilicueta is a bit of a weird one. He can play centre back, but physically and his likeness. I think Christensen is good, but he does lack a very big part of a centre back, and the physicality of Christensen is extremely weak. He can be bullied off the ball, like against Brighton, and Neil Maupay was bullying Christensen off the ball constantly. I think it has to be Kurt Zuma. He was our best player against Brighton at the weekend. I think he was very good in a Freckle backline. I think him and Thiago Silva could not be amazing, but it could be better than what Chelsea has.
Yeah, absolutely. Cop Captain's like a fan is asking, can Thiago play versus Chelsea? As far as I'm understood, from what I've been hearing, he will potentially go into the starting 11 versus Lincoln City on Thursday. So there may be not enough time to get the deal done. I believe that international clearance has to be done by tonight. I could be wrong about that, but he is having his medical, I believe. So going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting as well. Azpilicueta, one of my favourite players from Chelsea, so versatile, can play anywhere in defence. Yeah, Azpilicueta has been a fantastic servant for Chelsea. Hello to Cian Dolan. Hope you're doing well. Rudiger and Christensen aren't good enough. I think you've just sort of gone along with what Josh has said there. Isn't Tomori heavily linked with the move to Everton? Yeah. That's gone a bit quiet recently.
Chelsea don't know what to do with Tomori yet. Lampard's a big fan of Tomori. He had him at Derby City. He got him into the squad a bit last year. It is just a question, because I think at this point Lampard is seriously thinking of playing a young Tomori over ahead of an experienced Antonio Rudiger. That is, I think, at the point. The club haven't really made a decision yet. Ancelotti wants him. Everton want him, but Chelsea haven't made their mind up yet. But if I think you have to send him out. You can't have him sit there playing no football at his age. He has to go somewhere. Either Lampard gets him involved or he goes out alone. Time will tell what happens with that. It's hard to know.
Connor's asking, is Kante still up for sale?
I believe the club are wanting to sell Kante. Kante's now 32 years old, and we've all known Kante to be this machine who never gets tired. He can play football beyond football, but ever since that Europa League final under Maurizio Sarri, where he got injected to play that game with a knee injury, that completely screwed him for last year. He just couldn't get fit. And when your body works as well as his done, it comes back to haunt you when you get older, because your legs start to become tired, and he's already got that kind of already on him, so to speak. He's 32 years old. He's got 3 years left on his deal. I think the club, after this year, potentially will probably want to sell him, get the money while they can, because he's getting to that point where I feel like you need to kind of maybe look elsewhere. He's still a top player. I think he's one of Chelsea's best players, but age always comes back to haunt you in the end.
Yeah. This Dane is saying, I can see the headlines, Tiag goal. Liam Molyneux, you have to have a fast centre back to go alongside Silva. Silva has no legs. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Jesus, poor Lincoln, says Cian Dolan. The announcement is supposed to be tonight. Well, as soon as that announcement is announced, I will obviously let you all know that, there could be a few videos today. Let's just put it that way. If Chelsea signed Rice, would that mean Kante is gone or Rice play as a centre-back?
This is a good question. So what I believe very simply is that if Rice was to come in this year or next year, he will play centre back. If he was to come, if we were somehow to get him within the next 17 days, he will absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, play centre back. And I think that would be tomorrow gone. Rudiger would just be non-existent in the Chelsea squad. I feel like Rice would play centre back, but I definitely think Rice long term will be the CDM when Kante is sold, because again Kante is in his 30s now. So I think short term he'll be a centre back, and Lampard wants him to turn him into a top class centre back, as what the Athletic were reporting. But I think long term he will absolutely be a CDM, because there's no one else better at CDM than what Rice could be in the future. He could be a next Kante, so to speak. So
yeah, definitely. Here's an interesting question: are Chelsea title contenders?
nope, we'll concede too many goals. No chance. We will concede too many. Listen, the Chelsea against Brighton still show the defensive fragilities that this squad has. Thiago Silva will not solve these. He's 37 years old, and as Leighton said, he doesn't have the legs. He cannot physically play every game, and he cannot play 90 minutes of Premier League football up to high standard. That Chelsea squad, especially when you're going to have two extremely attacking fullbacks, and for all we know, Kepa could still be a Nets all season if Mendy doesn't even do well. So Chelsea do not have a Van Dijk, so to speak, and an Alisson to turn Chelsea into title contenders, and I just can't see it. Goals will be conceding goals will still be our problem, and that was why we will not be near the title race this year. Which could come back to hunt Lampard, but time will tell.
Yeah. There you go, Chris. There you go. Both me and you agree, and Josh agrees that not yet. And I've said this very well now. The expectations this season, I think, for Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Tottenham is to close the gap. Okay, let's not put Spurs and Arsenal in there, but Chelsea, Manchester United for sure to close the gap on Liverpool and Manchester City. I think that is definitely the case, and maybe win a trophy as well. Think it will ruin his career if he goes there. Anyone know if Thiago's match fit? Will he need to quarantine? When will he start playing? Goodness knows. To be honest, goodness knows. Hello to Sir Klopp. Now Liz Golden. She is American, and America love Christian Pulisic. How much do you love Christian Pulisic?
I think Christian Pulisic is an absolute excellent. I think that man, what he did towards the end of last season when we came back from obviously the whole coronavirus situation, he transformed that Chelsea team. He gives directness. We had Willian in the squad a lot. He's that directness. He gives that goal threat. He gives that pace. He gives that skill on the ball. I think when he went off against Arsenal in the FA Cup final, you seen that difference in that Chelsea team. They were slower. They were methodical. They didn't have much about them in the final third. I think he can be an exceptional player. I think this year in the right front three with I think when you got Timo Werner and Ziyech and a complete front three of Havertz and behind, that's a team that is scary to play against. Some we won't see for a couple more weeks, but he's a brilliant player. He's I think he could score 15 plus goals this season. I think he could have a ton of assists. I don't think Chelsea fans go over the top when you compare him to Eden Hazard. I think that's levels like that's such a high level to reach. But yeah. He's a player on and off the pitch you love. He's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
William Molyneux is set. Oh, here we go. Liverpool 5, Chelsea 4. Going to be enough. The way both the teams' defenses have been going. Well, you saw me on the watch along the other day that you don't really want me to. I was so tense for sure. So need to see Chelsea be convinced defensively. Silva can't do it on his own. We don't know if Edward Mendy will be good. No, he's an unknown quantity. I was saying that off air to Josh. He's an unknown quantity. Chelsea, Wall Street offence, Beyonce midfield, Benefit Street goalkeeper.
Oh my god. Oh, what a way to put it. What an absolute way to put it.
That's a cracking comment as well. Connor's asking, with Timo Werner being the number one striker, will Tammy Abraham stay as the number 2 striker, or will he move on?
Tammy Abraham's contract runs out at the end of this year. Chelsea have been trying to negotiate for Tammy Abraham's contract for a while now. Even last year when he was playing regularly and scoring goals for Chelsea, he still will not sign because he wants the same wages of Callum Hudson-Odoi, which is, I believe, 175k, I think it is. I think Hudson-Odoi's on. Tammy Abraham wants to see him. Chelsea aren't willing to do the same. So it is very possible Abraham and Werner are similar strikers in terms of what they do. Olivier Giroud gives you something completely different. So Abraham, in all honesty, could actually be the third choice striker. And in that case, he'll probably leave Chelsea at a free at the end of the year or in January.
Yeah, definitely. Disdain, will Kai, Timo, and Ziyech play this week as stars versus Liverpool? Ziyech is out, I believe.
Yes.
Ziyech's
out with a knee injury.
I believe he'll be back for the West Brom game at the weekend. Timo Werner's got a slight knock, but he should make it.
Yeah, he'll play, yeah.
Kai Havertz will be there as well. Sir Klopp says, I think Chelsea will challenge for a while, then fade off after Christmas. Do Chelsea need to win a trophy with money spent? I think they do, says Chris.
I think there's no question about it. Chelsea have to win the FA Cup this year. I've got no, Chelsea aren't going to win the Champions League. Let's be honest. Chelsea are not going to win the Champions League. The Carabao Cup is possible, but that, Chelsea do have really good depth, so they could go for it, but they have to win the FA Cup this year. They have to get at least third place and have to win the FA Cup. There's no other way of putting it. They have to do it. There's too much money spent to not,
Yeah, absolutely. So Klopp asked, do you think Lampard will win a Premier League title, and do you think he can win a Champions League?
This is so hard to know because, again, this is Lampard's third season in management. This is his first season with big personalities with pressure on him. Lampard had shown last year what he can do, but he also shown what he needs to do. It really depends because will Lampard see past this season? That's the real question. This is where, because will Branovich go back to what Branovich has been known for? This is such high level of expectation, and he'll sack a manager no matter what. I think Lampard could. I do think Lampard could. I think he's got the tactical nous in him. I think he's got the knowledge. I think he's got such a high IQ and he knows how to get the best out of players. But it's so hard to know. It's so hard to know. I think after this season, ask me the question and I can give you a better answer.
Yeah. Leighton Molyneux says, I'll take Tammy at Liverpool. Fits us perfectly in my opinion. Big striker for all the crosses, and I don't know his pressing styles, but I'm sure you can learn. Tammy Abraham is not worth half that wage. Chelsea midfield, Kante, Mount, Havertz. Chelsea forward line, Ziyech, Werner, Pulisic. That is fire. James and Chilwell at fullbacks, just as centre-backs and keeper to Sorry. Yeah, it's a cracking team, Chelsea. It's an absolute cracking team.
It's the back five. The back five's the problem.
Yeah. This Chelsea expert knows more than Sky Sports. I think Chelsea want Rice because friends with Mason Mount. You might finish off the FIFA series today. FA Cup is reasonable after last season. I will come back to that. If Chelsea finish outside the top four this season, then I think Frank will be saying bye-bye to his job, says the Cop Council. Well, we will see. We'll see what happens. Massive game for either Chelsea or Liverpool. Will it boil over between Lamps and Klopp? Ooh, interesting question, Diego. I did see in your predictions, actually, my predictions video, you did say in your predictions that you think Lampard and Klopp could be sent to the stands. Yeah. If anyone remembers the Liverpool Chelsea game, there was a bit of a I wouldn't say bust up, but Lampard wasn't happy with Klopp. Do you think there's a wee bit of a rivalry there?
I think a rivalry. I think a rivalry was created because obviously Lampard turned around Klopp and said, you've only won one league title, now F off. Which Lampard did apologise for in the end. But I think a rivalry could build between them because if Lampard does well this season, obviously Klopp's still got 4 years left on his contract at Liverpool. These two could be fighting for league titles. Over the next couple of years, or even this year if something miraculous happened. I don't think it's a rivalry as such. I think it was just Lampard was in the heat of the moment because it was never a free kick that was given. That Trent ended up scoring and put Liverpool in the back foot. So Lampard was obviously in the moment, but there could be a rivalry. But I think it's been a bit exaggerated at the moment. Things like this happen on the sideline a lot. It's just because there's no fans there. It's easily picked up on these days.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Lampard's already won 4 Premier Leagues. Yeah, he has. He has as a player. I stand by Kepa, best goalkeeper ever. Really. We will come to team selections as well. For me, it'll be Chelsea 2, Liverpool 3, with at least 2 penalties in the game. That could be possible, especially with both defences and our defence not being the best right now. When LFC win and I sing "Stop Crying, Frank," oh yeah. Here's a question for you: What do you think about Thiago joining Liverpool?
I think this is exactly. I think this is the type of midfielder Liverpool need. I think with Gini Wijnaldum more than likely going to leave. It's at the end of the year, or Barcelona do officially put a bid in. I think I think he is not just a better replacement. I think he's the perfect replacement. I think he does everything that Liverpool midfield can't do. I think it gives Fabinho and Henderson a bit more ability to kind of do what they do more than have to worry about the other things that Thiago can do.
Yeah.
And I think when you have someone in that midfield who can finally, put better balls in for that front three instead of just having to rely on the fullbacks or Firmino kind of linking up the play, I think that gives a whole new dynamic to that Liverpool team and how you stop that team. Because you're watching Thiago pass the ball, it's just like putting bread on butter. He makes it look so easy and yet so effective, and he's going to be a pure joy to watch in the Premier League. And I think Liverpool, when I said Man City were going to win the Premier League, I think this kind of puts it into more Liverpool are going to win the league now, because you fix a problem, City haven't, and that could be the big difference between the two.
Quite possibly. We will get to that. We will get to the starting 11s. It'll be hard to get rid of Kel because he thinks he's in charge.
I'll never forget that. Never forget that.
I'll never forget that either. Liverpool come out of our first 6 games with all the points possible. Do you put us as favourites? We've got such a hard start, and I think our Everton will be the hardest game. Yeah, I think. Look, obviously, going to Stamford Bridge, we all know what happened last season. Obviously, we won one there and we lost one. We lost in the FA Cup. But obviously, as we've seen, Klopp doesn't seem to take the FA Cup seriously. Has Kepa been the most overpriced goalkeeper ever? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 71.8 million they paid. Oh dear. I don't like to remind you, of course. Can we just take a moment to realise that Manchester United can only buy a packet of crisps at the moment?
Yeah, my friend Carson Redhand, who can't be here today because he's at work, obviously would be. I think he would have a lot to say, but I think the whole structure of the Glazers of Ed Woodward and how a club of Manchester United cannot sign or pay the money for some of the players is beyond ridiculous. It's obviously, well, I don't have a rivalry with Manchester United, so for you don't feel the same pain, but it is sad to see where Manchester United are going to, where, to be honest, they could become the next Arsenal. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a shy of doubt it can happen.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go. Cian Dolan, you could say Klopp cares sweet FA about the FA Cup. I'll get my coat. Yeah. Thiago just isn't for everyone, Manchester United fans. Well, they'll say that they weren't in for him. How do you stop Salah, Josh? Another Ramos tackle, maybe. Well, to be fair, Mohamed Salah's not got the best record at Stamford Bridge. He hasn't even. I don't think he's scored against Chelsea. So this would be very interesting. So let's get into the head-to-head record. So at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have 46 wins, Liverpool have 23 wins, and there's 22 draws. Now, obviously, here is what I ask you now, Josh. What is your starting 11 for Chelsea on Sunday?
Right, well, the formation I'm going to go with is 4-2-3-1. I think we're at the stage now where 3 at the back was primary for last year, just to get the young team through rough patches. I think now we need to stop switching between a back 3 and a back 4 because the difference is inconsistency between the two. So I'll go with 4-2-3-1. No, I would. This is where people I probably get some hate. I would start Caballero in that. I have absolutely zero faith in Caballero. Like his positioning for that goal against Brighton, when he could literally physically touch his left post. Like if he was like two yards to his right, if he was 2 yards to his right, he saves that, and Chelsea are more comfortable in the game. So, Willie Caballero has to start. He knew the defense are confident more with him because, like, even when he played last year, you see the defense looked half decent more than what Kepa did. He's got the experience. He knows his position, and he can actually save shots. Kepa just looks like floppy hands. He doesn't. He's got no confidence in him. That's it. The back 4 would be Reece James at right back because we need pace. We need someone to keep up. We can't play Azpilicueta against Salah or Mane. Just no, he would get ripped. He will get ripped to shreds. Kurt Zouma and Andres Christensen at centre back. I would not play Rudiger against that front 3. Otherwise, you guys will have about 5 penalties, and I would probably put on my Twitter. And at left back, by the seams of it, Ben Chilwell is going to be fit. So if he is fit, play Chilwell again. If we're playing Alonso, that's it. We've lost 3 points at Liverpool. Nice knowing you. The two midfielders in the pivot would be Kante and Kovacic. I feel like those. I think and the pivot is excellent. I think Kante in the middle two is excellent. I think Kovacic was definitely our best player last year. He is incredible to watch. He's so good to watch. His link-up play, his on the ball, his movement, his vision. It's everything you want from a midfielder, except for the goals. He's only scored 1 goal in the last 3 years, so I won't be relying on him to score. I won't be relying on him to score for a while. Jorginho, too slow. I think he's going to be too slow against this high press in Liverpool's guide. My middle three would be Mason Mount on the left because Pulisic will not be fit. Kai Havertz at number 10, and on the right side will be Callum Hudson-Odoi because we need pace. We're going to counter-attack Liverpool this game. We need pace, and Hudson-Odoi brings that pace, which we don't really have at the moment because of injuries or whatever. And then I think the striker speaks for itself. Timo Werner. Hopefully he scores at Anfield just to rub it in your faces a wee bit after you not paying the money for him. Well, that would be my team. Only 3 changes from the game against Brighton, but those 3 changes are really big changes. Players who can make a real difference against Liverpool.
Yeah, right, guys. In the chat, get your starting 11s for the game. For my starting 11 would be Alisson, Becker in goal, obviously. Number 1 goalkeeper, so obviously you're not going to change that. Then I will play Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez. I'm not dropping Joe Gomez. I know he had a bad game against Leeds, but I'm not dropping Joe Gomez. Virgil van Dijk. I know he had his worst game against Leeds, but he'll be playing. Andy Robertson as well. And then I'm going to play Fabinho, and then I'm going to put Keita in there. And then Jordan Henderson. I think Henderson didn't look fit, but I do think Henderson will probably start. And then the front 3 speaks for itself. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, and Mohamed Salah. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game for sure. They're always interesting games, Chelsea Liverpool. Obviously, there was a wee rivalry beginning sort of back in the Benitez Mourinho days, and it's just sort of gone on from there. Leighton Molyneux has said Alisson, Trent, VVD, Matip, Robbo, Fab, Hendo, Keita, Salah, Mane, Firmino. Interesting, you go for Matip for sure. Adrian for the lols. Trent, Matip, Virg, Robbo, Fab, Hendo, Naby, Salah, Origi, Mane. I'd actually drop Bobby for this one. He wasn't great. His finishing is shocking recently. Well, that is possible. That is very, very possible. My lineup: Alisson, Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson, Keita, Salah, Firmino, Mane. Same as me, Chris. We've got very, very good thinking there. So I can't let you go without saying this. What is your prediction for the game?
I say this is hard. I think Chelsea could muster a draw out of this game. I feel like this is these were the type of games that we turned up for last year. If you look back, besides the Manchester United, actually, well, not even Manchester United, you look back at all the games we had against the top 6, you can never say that we got steamrolled by any team. We always put up a fight against a team, and now you've got that extra quality where you've got Timo Werner running in behind, you've got Havertz hopefully supplying those balls, and hopefully it's just that defense. I feel like if we had a top class centre back, Chelsea could win this game. I think we can match Liverpool man for man, but that defense will cost us. I feel like we'll score goals, but I feel like we'll concede goals. I think this could probably be. I don't think it'll be as exciting as the game at Anfield last year. I think that was something special, but I think it will be a 2 each.
2 each. Funnily enough, I was thinking 1-1. I was thinking 1-1 for this game. I think if we took a draw. Bearing in mind, guys, Manchester City play Wolves on Monday. That won't be easy. That will not be easy. So I think a draw out of this game to then go into the Lincoln game on Thursday, and then obviously Arsenal next Monday. I think that would be not a bad start. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I was going to predict a win, but I have to be realistic. This Chelsea side is better than the one we faced last season. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Get your predictions in the chat, and I will read them. Out for sure. Someone's asking about Ox. Ox is injured at the moment. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks, I think. There is talk that he could be potentially leaving, but I think it's absolute nonsense as well. You've got to punish mistakes for the young players to learn. Joe Gomez can't get comfortable in the starting 11. That's where mistakes come through. LFC Spectre saying 3-1 to Liverpool. Chris Welker saying, my prediction, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2. Same as last season. Won't be shocked if goals galore. I expect us to be better defensively than the Leeds game. Liz Golden, 4-1 Liverpool. Also, please start Kepa.
No. We will concede 7. We will concede 7 or 8 goals of Kepa's in that. We just can't have him in that. He hurts me. He makes me cry.
Disdain is saying Chelsea 1, Salah 3. Lol. Jokes aside, I'm thinking 1-1, same as me, Kian. 3-1 to Liverpool, just can't get past their defence, and Timo's already admitted to struggling against big defenders. Interesting. Does it come much bigger than VVD? Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't say he struggles against big defenders. He said he's never played against a big defender. So there's a big difference between the two. But again, the same point goes: how will he deal with playing against Van Dijk? So yeah, doesn't change the point too much.
Yeah, definitely. Happy Thiago Day lad says Mo LFC. I predict another win, 5-3. I get. Wow,
I couldn't take a 5-3. I can't do that, especially if we are like 4-0 down or something like that. You know, because I had that small slimmer go, but we were bringing that game back that night.
Yeah, 2-1 Liverpool says Connor. Diego C. Palace is saying for real there will definitely be goals in this game. We need Kepa in goals so we can have long shots. Yeah,
he's the keeper. He's the keeper who's conceded the most shots outside the box in the last 10 years in the Premier League. That is bad. That's bad.
Absolutely shocking. Liverpool will need to improve the defence this week after last week's horror show. Kepa flying like Kepa. Absolutely. Josh, absolute pleasure to welcome you onto the channel. Where can we find you on your socials?
My socials is it's just JWSH_U on Twitter is my Twitter. That's where all I tweet everything sport related, and anything else is irrelevant because I'm not a content creator myself. So that's my Twitter would be where you can talk to me.
Absolutely, and you can also find Josh sometimes on the Fan Dan YouTube channel, and obviously I will leave a link to that as well. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, then please hit that subscribe button, smash the like on this video, and if the Thiago news does break later, I will go either live or I will pre-record a video. So keep your notifications bell on. Keep your notifications bell on, and we shall see what happens indeed. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully, well, we've predicted draws. Let's see what happens. If you have missed this live, then please let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll both reply to your comments there as well. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.